Peptides are all over the internet for their incredible benefits, but many people are scared of them because they're unsure if they're safe. What most don't realize is peptides are natural compounds. Scientists have found over 7,000 in the human body, with new ones discovered every year. Some even reverse aging at the DNA level, but not all are safe. Many sold online are dangerous research chemicals, untested for human use, or some can even cause heart problems, or worse. If you want the amazing benefits of peptides, you need to know which ones are backed by science and which combinations to avoid to protect your health. Let's get started. Let's start with the most exciting category, healing peptides. These are peptides that tell your body to repair itself. They recover damaged tissue, reduce inflammation, and help your body rebuild from the inside out. And there are 3 big players in this category, and they're BPC-157, TB500, and GHK copper. Let's try to understand them one by one. BPC-157 stands for Body Protection Compound 157. The name shows that this peptide was designed by nature to protect the body from a protein found in human gastric juice. Yes, your stomach. Scientists figure out that the stomach is one of the few places in your body that can take a serious beating and heal remarkably fast. So they started looking at the proteins here, and that's where BPC-157 was isolated. What does it do? In short, it speeds up healing. Tendons, ligaments, muscles, the lining of your gut. BPC-157 seems to help repair it all. It works by triggering the growth of new blood vessels into damaged tissues, a process called angiogenesis. More blood flow means more nutrients, more oxygen, and faster repair. For you, this means injuries like sprains or muscle tears could heal faster, workouts might feel less punishing, you also recover from workouts much quicker, and chronic issues like joint pain or gut problems could finally start to improve. Now, most of the solid research on BPC-157 has been done in animals. Human clinical trials are still limited, so while the reports are impressive, the medical community is waiting on more human data before making it a standard recommendation. The second name in this category is TB500. TB500 is a synthetic version of a naturally occurring protein called thymosin beta-4, which your body already makes. Its main job is to help cells move. The world of healing, that's a big deal because when tissues get damaged, your body needs to send new signals to that area to rebuild it. TB500 helps make that happen faster. It also promotes the formation of new blood vessels, and it has anti-inflammatory properties that can help calm the damage response after an injury. But a lot of people in the peptide world don't use BPC-157 or TB500 alone. They stack them, meaning they use them both together, because the 2 peptides seem to work different but complementary ways. BPC-157 goes to work at the injury site directly, while TB500 helps mobilize and direct healing cells from further away. Together, the thinking is that you get more complete repair. By stacking these peptides, you could recover faster from injuries, get back to your workouts or daily activities sooner, and reduce the downtime that keeps you from doing what you love. TB500 has also been studied in heart tissue, specifically in its ability to help heart muscle cells survive and recover after a heart attack. That research is still developing, but it adds another dimension to just how broad this peptide's potential might be. Which brings us to the third name in this category, GHK copper. GHK copper is a little different from the first 2. It's a copper peptide, meaning that it's a small peptide naturally bound to copper molecule, and your body can actually produce it on its own. But the problem is, its levels drop significantly as you age. At 20, you have plenty of it. By 60, your levels are a fraction of what they once were. So what does GHK copper do? Quite a lot, actually. First, it tells your body to make more collagen. Collagen is the structural protein that holds your skin, tendons, joints, and basically every tissue together. When collagen production goes down, things break down. GHK copper helps reverse that by signaling fibroblasts, the cells responsible for collagen production, to get back to work. Second, it's a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It helps quiet down the damage signals that cause chronic inflammation, which is at the root of almost every major disease and the aging process itself. Third, GHK copper is one of the few peptides that works both from the inside and the outside. Systemically, it's being studied for wound healing and tissue repair. It's already widely used in the skincare products for its ability to tighten skin, reduce fine lines, and even support hair follicle health. For you, this could mean smoother, younger looking skin, fewer wrinkles, and the confidence that comes with healthier, more vibrant appearance. And if hair thinning has been an issue, GHK copper might even help you regain thicker, stronger hair. We'll actually come back to GHK copper when we get into the cosmetic peptide section, because it truly belongs in both categories. With that said, let's move into the category that gets a lot of attention in the fitness world. These are the peptides that work with your body's own growth hormone system to help you build more muscle and perform at a higher level. Category 2. Muscle building and performance peptides. Let's meet its main players. First, CJC-1295. It's called a GHRH analog. GHRH stands for growth hormone releasing hormone. It's the hormone your brain naturally uses to tell your pituitary gland to release growth hormone. Once growth hormone is released, it travels through the body and triggers the liver to produce something called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1. IGF-1 is really where the magic happens. It's the downstream signal that actually drives muscle growth, speeds up all the fat metabolism, and helps with overall body composition. This means your body becomes better at building lean muscle, burning fat more efficiently, and achieving a toned athletic look at a pace where it finally feels like your body's working properly for once. But CJC 1295 is almost never used alone. And that brings us to its most popular partner, ipamorelin. Ipamorelin belongs to a class of peptides called GHRPs, growth hormone releasing peptides. These work differently from CJC 1295. Instead of mimicking GHRH, they act on a different receptor, the ghrelin receptor, to stimulate a pulse of growth hormone release from the pituitary. Ipamorelin triggers growth hormones with very little cortisol or prolactin release. You get the benefit without much of the noise. This is why the CJC 1295 and ipamorelin combination has become one of the most popular peptide stacks in the world of health optimization. Together, they amplify the body's own rhythm rather than overriding it. In practical terms, this combination works with your natural growth hormone cycles, helping you feel stronger, recover faster from workouts, and burn fat without disrupting your body's natural balance. Now, growth hormone does play a role in fat metabolism too, but the next category takes that to a whole new level. And one of them you've probably almost certainly heard about. Yes, I'm talking about weight loss and metabolic peptides. What makes this category so fascinating is that these peptides work with your body's own metabolic machinery. For some of my patients, these peptides have generally changed their lives. So let's get into the main players. If you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro, then you already know these peptides. Semaglutide and tirzepatide are without question the most talked about weight loss peptides on the market today. Your body naturally produces a hormone called GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1, after you eat. GLP-1 tells your pancreas to release insulin, it slows down how fast food leaves your stomach, and signals your brain that you're full. It basically turns down the hunger dial. For you, this means feeling full sooner during meals, fewer cravings throughout the day, and no more late night binges that derail your progress. It can help you stay on track without feeling like you're starving yourself. Semaglutide mimics GLP-1. It binds to the same receptors and produces all of the same effects, but it lasts much longer than your body's natural GLP-1, which disappears within minutes. With a weekly injection of semaglutide, you're essentially having a sustained GLP-1 signal running in your body around the clock. Both are FDA approved, both have extensive human data. If you're looking for the most evidence-based peptides in the weight loss space, this is it. Now, the second name in this category is very underrated. I say this because most people haven't heard of tesmorelin, but it deserves a spot in this conversation because it does something very specific. It stimulates growth hormone release, but it was developed with a very specific purpose for reducing visceral body fat. That's the deep belly fat that wraps around your organs. Also notoriously hard to shift with diet and exercise alone. Tesmorelin works by stimulating your pituitary gland to release growth hormone, which then signals your liver to break down stored fat, especially visceral fat, by enhancing lipolysis, which is the process of fat breakdown. This targeted action helps shrink the stubborn fat cells around your organs, improving metabolic health and reducing your risk for serious conditions like heart disease and diabetes. Tesmorelin was originally approved by the FDA to treat a condition called HIV-associated lipodystrophy, where patients on HIV medications accumulate excess visceral fat in the abdomen as a side effect. It's one of the few peptides in this category with solid FDA-approved clinical data behind it, and that's a big deal in a space where research is often thin. The next category isn't about what's happening deep inside your body, it's about what you can actually see in the mirror. I'm talking about anti-aging peptides, the ones that turn back the clock on your skin, your cells, and maybe even your DNA. Aging is something every single one of my patients bring up at some point, and I get it. We all want to look good, feel good, and stay healthy as the years go by. The anti-aging industry is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and a lot of it is built on products that, quite frankly, don't do much. But peptides are different, because instead of just sitting on the surface of your skin, they actually communicate with your cells. Let's break down the key players. First, epitalon. This one operates on a completely different level than anything we've ever discussed. It doesn't work on your muscles, your fat cells, or the surface of your skin. It works on your telomeres. Every cell in your body contains DNA, packaged into chromosomes. At the end of each chromosome is a protective cap called a telomere. Every time a cell divides, those telomeres get a little shorter. When they get too short, the cell can no longer divide properly, it becomes dysfunctional, or dies. This process is one of the core biological mechanisms of aging. The research behind epitalon was largely pioneered by a Russian scientist who spent decades studying it. Now, epitalon is still considered experimental in the West, it's not FDA approved. Most of the strongest studies come from Russia, and while the science is compelling, it hasn't gone through the full clinical trial process that Western regulators require. So, We're not at the point where doctors routinely prescribing this, which brings us to the next peptide that we already talked about in the healing section. Yes, GHK copper. GHK copper is a peptide your body produces naturally, and as I mentioned earlier, its levels drop significantly with age. But what we didn't fully cover is just how powerful it is for skin specifically. It stimulates collagen production, but it also tightens loose skin, reduces hyperpigmentation and dark spots, smooths rough texture, and promotes hair follicle activity. It influences the activity of over 4,000 human genes and resets certain genes towards a younger, healthier pattern of behavior. But the research behind it is still growing. GHK copper isn't just a surface-level cosmetic ingredient. It's a true biological signal molecule that happens to also make your skin look better. It earns the place in both the healing category and this one. Now, before you go off researching which peptides you might want to try, there's something important I need you to hear. Almost every peptide we talked about today can interact with your hormones and your medications, and that's something you need to worry about. Take tirzepatide for an example. It impacts both insulin and glucagon pathways. If someone is already on insulin or thyroid medication and they take a GLP-1 peptide on top of that, those hormone levels can move further than intended, which can be dangerous. This is why peptides are not something you should navigate alone based upon what you read online or saw on social media. So what's the solution? Well, this is where Vive Wellness comes in to help. Vive is a physician-led wellness practice that creates fully customized peptide protocols built around your goals, your labs, your complete medical history. We work exclusively with FDA-registered compounding pharmacies. That means any peptide you receive through Vive is pharmaceutical-grade prescription. So, if anything in this video caught your attention, the smartest next step is a conversation with a physician who actually knows this space. Book a free discovery call with Vive Wellness today. The link is right below this video. It takes 2 minutes to schedule, and it could save you from potential side effects. I'll see you there.